Hello, and welcome back to an episode I have...
What was that? Sorry.
It's alright, no, go ahead.
Oh, it's not alright. Oh, I think that's not
Go
alright.
ahead.
Beneath the table.
Sam is aggressively
No, don't include me in this.
No, he's knocking it down now.
That's fine. Welcome back, everybody, to an episode I have very ominously titled The Final Duel. Oh, exciting
Ready
times.
to fight.
But before we get into that, a quick recap. Because we had quite a busy episode last time round. It was the first one back in some time, and there was lots to be done. The party were back on Ybrit, the soul city on a rock in the middle of nowhere within the inner sanctum of Xerieos, a vast ocean landscape. And Ybrit really is a rock. Genuinely, just a city stuffed pointlessly on a rock in the middle of the ocean. It is totally high. 100,000 people on a couple of square miles worth of land. It's pretty tightly packed. You were there for various reasons, and Theren, you travelled with Kazaki to the cathedral, I should say, of Perith.
Yes.
Asking for help to revive your comrade Blue, still stuck in the Temple of Earth, petrified.
Lol.
High Priest Bray Walter, High Priestess of the Cathedral of Perith, reconfirmed, unfortunately, that whilst her sympathies were genuine and true, she was unable to travel from Ybrit to assist Blue herself. She did, however, remind you of an option, such as the Scroll of Greater Restoration. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, she didn't have one herself at the time. The Cathedral of Perith being somewhat down on its luck and down on followers, just seems to be in a bad place at the moment, and it didn't have one. She did, however, say that the Cathedral of Xanor, a cathedral much more in a prosperous way at the moment, may be able to help you, especially given its attenuation towards combat and possibly the need to restore people after tournaments and things like that. Aubrey,
It's me.
you journeyed to the Midnight Marvel.
I did.
Ybrit's premier shop for magical items and artifacts.
That it is.
There, you commissioned a pair of goggles of night,
I did.
ready in about a week's time. It's been about 4 days.
What else did she do, Ryan?
As
what
well
else happened, Ryan?
as selling the Wand of the War Mage,
Yes.
+3,
Cool, bet
in a part
got some
exchange.
money.
Yes, a part exchange for both gold and Wings of Flying, another admittedly very rare magical item. Theren and Kisaki then travelled to the School of Blades, an elite, if not slightly pretentious, school for dexterous duelling.
Was a bit wanky.
In his little bit. Theren had a duel with Florence, a member of the school who had previously fought Blue in the Xanor tournament, and even with inferior equipment, beat him. This led to a chat with Guildmaster Sensei, not Sensei, typical mistake to make, an elder halfling man who told Theren what he knew about magical weapons as well as cursed weapons. Brukar, the newest ally to the party, spent his time using his druidic magic to scout Ybrit the clues leading to the dark criminal underworld, with special attention on a rumoured black market. Using conjured animals, he found a number of clues relating to masked individuals seen and lurking within Ybrit's back slum districts hidden behind the side of the mountain that is least accessible from the port. The party reconvened, attempting to make sense of your options. The DM needed some guidance on what they were doing, as well as making a plan for the weeks ahead. They agreed that you were going to enter the tournament of Xanor, hoping that victory would somehow win you favour with the High Priest, and possible access to any scroll of greater restoration that he has. You then agreed that you were going to pursue leads on Ybrit, tracking down the rumoured black market there. Finally, you also agreed that you would travel to Zelidia, an island rumoured to have associations with Ybrit's criminal underworld, especially, recently, in regards to the recovery of long-lost artefacts that seemingly are being dredged from under the sea. Theren, Aubrey, and Kisaki all entered the tournament of Xanor. Whilst Theren was knocked out in the quarterfinals, and I will say rather hampered by the lack of magic.
It's going to be a problem.
It's a problem for Theren, yeah. Kisaki made it to the semi-finals. only to be defeated by Aubrey. Aubrey,
Yes, it's me.
about a quarter of an hour has gone by.
Yep.
You've been staying in the holding room, minding your business, tending to whatever wounds you've had, drawing some stamina back into you, sharpening your blade, whatever you would do with an unconscious Theren and Kasaki in the room with you. You can see both sprawled out on the floor in various ways, just looking a bit genuinely beaten out. You can see Kasaki with several rather large axe wounds on various places of her. Theren, again, you can see the copper, like a particularly nasty looking spear wound that seems to have punctured through.
I was under the impression I'd woken up and
Had you woken up?
healed.
Oh, you had healed me as well.
You had just healed. You had just healed. That's true. Well, now this is good. So about 15 minutes has now gone by. Theren, you've woken up. Out of the long, thin viewing window in front of you, you can see sort of the ground height. The room you're in is sunk into the ground. The stands above you. You can feel the force of the foot stomps, the noise, people walking about. You can hear beverages, food being dispensed amongst the audience. At the moment, there seems to be some sort of half-time pre-final entertainment.
Oh my god, is there a show happening?
In the middle of the cathedral. You can see a small choir of assembled dwarves and gnomes running around performing various acrobatic tricks. You can see flaming I've just forgotten the word. Torches being flung past between two gnomes who seem to backflip between each particular pass. You can see dwarves with large instruments making lots of noise. Drums. One seems to have a large tube around him making noise as he wanders around. You can see another gnome with a fiddle whipping the crowd into some sort of song that they seem to get hold of very quickly. And the high priest sort of is walking around just talking to people of the audience or within the sort of... And you can see the closest seats to the arena themselves seem to be favorited in some way. The high priest will walk around and individually sort of say hello to people, and sometimes will hold a hand and like nod very sincerely, and other times he'll like theatrically act and like pull something from his pocket and fling it on them, but nothing's there. It seems to be just general ways of engaging the crowd.
I love it.
Right.
There's a knock at the door, and again you see the same dwarf as before, in his brown sack-like robes. You can see his hair missing in the middle but tied back. The administrative dwarf from before. Stormbreaker!
That's me.
Congratulations! Your first final,
Yes.
correct?
Oh, first of many.
You must be excited.
So excited.
And we hope it's the first of many. Thank you very much for taking part in the tournament. I can see these two are awake, and points towards Kasaki and Theren. How are you feeling?
Better, thank you.
You look well. Yes, that's rapid recovery. Fantastic. Good on the two of you. The fight was so close. Genuinely so. It looked like you got each other down pretty severe beatings on both sides. Put it that way.
Well, the fight is over now.
Yeah, that it is. And so we move to the victor. What an achievement.
Yes.
What an achievement
It
indeed.
is.
Are you ready?
Just 1 second. I just need to quench my thirst.
Please.
I turn my back to him, look at Theren, and chug down the potion of hill giant strength.
Woohoo! Wonderful. Is the potion very thick? Sort of ekes down your throat. There's a weird sense. It feels like the viscosity of the liquid would be uncomfortable or would choke you in some way, but it seems to just evaporate and blend into the skin of your throat, going down into your stomach. You can feel the warmth passing through you as you just, without even meaning to, reflex muscles in your legs, your hands, your arms, your shoulders, a sense of strength. Not as much increased strength as you would hope,
I fucked that up.
but enough.
Gives me the edge, I think.
I think it cuts you to 21 strength, doesn't it?
It
So that's a
does.
+5 modifier. That's
It
pretty
is.
good.
Not bad.
And you had a +4, but every little
It
helps.
helps. Yeah.
Your axe is handed to you. Are you ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready.
Right, we'll come through. Please. And he sort of gestures you out, takes you into the corridor. You can see a couple of the defeated gladiators and participants of the tournament from before lining the corridor, sort of clapping as you come through. You can see the badly hooded serpent man just very excitedly clapping you on. Whoa, Stormbreaker! Go for it!
I give him a... That's a good one. Yeah.
He sort of just a moment where he's taken aback. Oh.
Going to her head.
Oh.
This is going to be intolerable after this.
As the noise builds and builds, even Aubrey gets a fleeting sense of nerves. The sheer volume, the density of the air caused only by thousands of people excitedly watching as you step into the arena. The band, already making their way to the side, announce your presence with large blasts of horns and drums.
Nice.
The crowd whip into a frenzy, everyone standing, stomping, as you see the hooded figure also emerge from the other side. The high priest gathers you into the middle. You can see people crowded around you on all sides, the noise deafening at this point as he sort of brings you closer. Stormbreaker, hooded one, thank you once again for taking part in our tournament. You really help to bring worship to the streets of Ybrit, really connect the people with that vital, potent force that is true combat. It strengthens people. And your examples, it teaches us all. Are you ready?
Born ready.
He nods. Slaps you on the back. And you? She sort of just looks down and you can see very pale skin, long brown hair tied back behind in sort of intricate plaits, but hood brought over. Immaculate looking armour. The swords gleaming and sharp, even from the combat now, no trace of blood on them. And again, that thick belt round her waist.
Yep.
She seems to just sort of flex and sort of look at you directly.
Oh, I crack my knuckles.
Are you ready?
Is that her? I audibly gasp. I just put you down as a strong and silent type. This is excellent. We can actually talk. Wait, ready. Sorry.
I love Aubrey.
She sort of stands
Sometimes.
back. You're led 20 feet apart from each other. The high priest, standing in the middle, gets the crowd to be silent. The silence becomes deafening as he brings his hands down, starts stepping back. Fight! And again, the noise whips up. Roll initiative for me, Liz.
So that is a 17.
17. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
the hooded one got 19.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't move.
Does it move?
She stands there, arms folded, just a smirk on her face. Make an Arcana check for me.
That is a 14.
14. And this would make sense. You're used to that electrical energy around you, that feeling of anger becoming arcane, you know, really your emotions creating a tangible effect on the world. You see her stare on you, she focuses on you, and you feel just a subtle static on you, a tingling in your skin, up your spine, of something focusing on you.
Good to know.
But that's all.
That's all she does.
She just sort of stands there. You can see, while she looks very casual at a distance, her legs drop slightly. And now her legs drop slightly, her knees bent. And she just waits for you. What would you like to do?
So I'm gonna... So, 20 feet apart. I'm guessing there's still quite a lot of the arena around.
Yeah. The arena is about 100 feet in diameter. So there's about, from where you are now, there's about 40 feet behind you and about 60 in front of you.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk like around her, almost like circling her. And I'm just going to go, I actually was trying to find you earlier. I wanted to have a conversation. I thought I'd catch you training. But take the dodge action as I'm walking around to sort of like try and engage in conversation. That's what I do.
Okay. On her turn, again, she actually starts to walk and circling, creating a perfect circle as the two of you walk around each other about 20 feet away. Arms still folded, her hood down. You can see the eyes just flicking up at you.
Mm.
Well, clearly, you weren't looking very hard, were you?
Oh.
Doesn't surprise me. Very, very difficult to find. Just keeps walking around you. What do you do?
Still keep walking, taking the dodge action. And I sort of say, yeah, well, I feel we got off on the wrong foot last time we met. Let's start afresh. My name's Aubrey of House Amblecrown. You might have heard of me.
I have, indeed.
Cool.
Tell me, Aubrey, what makes you think that this would go any different than last time?
Well, actually, I don't think it will go any different. I think we are actually very similar. I think we are both very strong, capable women in a male-dominated environment, and I think we should really help each other. Keep circling this whole time.
She's watching you.
Yeah.
Every now and then the circle sort of drifts slightly closer accidentally and she'll back off. She sort of fronts up, retreats. You can see very carefully watching you, but her eyes kind of, there's a small smile. We shall see. The crowd are making noise at this point. They love the tension, but you can see they're starting to fight. Sort of noises from the crowd builds up further.
That shanks at the top.
Tell me, Aubrey, will you make the first move or shall I?
Yes. I think it's only fair as the incumbent that you make the first move, and then I learn from that. And I bonus action rage very quickly. Like, make me show it.
Okay. The lightning bursts into the arena. Make a performance check.
Damn, sorry.
The
Ooh, it's only a 12.
Only a 12. Lightning crackles round again. The clouds starting to form above you, whipping into a sort of circular nature. She sort of, the swords come out. She spins them around a couple of times and just goes into the ground in front of her and waits.
Ah, interesting. I drop my great axe then in front of me.
Okay. So,
Yes.
at the end of your turn,
Yeah, I know.
the rage ends.
That's fine.
As you didn't hit anybody.
No.
That initial
More.
burst in lightning drops, and at that point, there's a smile on her face. I thought so. And then she comes at you. She is going to run across with her two swords from the ground and make 3 attacks on you.
Brilliant.
And see what she can do. She doesn't have advantage, but that's 2 critical hits at a time.
At least
23.
Can I use luck at all on that?
Yes, you can. One of the critical hits?
Yeah, on one of the critical hits, please.
That is a 19 to hit.
Still hits.
But 1 crit and 2. Okay, fine. So
Brilliant.
she's going to... So the crit is the one that hit first.
Mm-hmm.
So
just
that
imagine
is
Cass and Theren going
26 damage on the critical hit as the sword slices to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts going for the weak point. The second bit, she ducks onto your guard and tries to hammer in the sword into the second point. Striking, so that's 4, 12, 18 points of damage on the second hit. The third one, which is just a regular hit, this one. But she's got that on as well. God, that's good. 16 points of damage.
16.
Yeah.
That is
17.
Slash
Wow.
on you. I will... Your rage would have ended, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. That's why I climbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't have time
She
to win
makes
this
3 hits and just sort of brings the swords up in a defensive style. What would you like to do?
I go, oh, well, yes, I thought that would happen. And I but then as I start to rage again, my bonus action, I say, but the difference between you and I is that you fight selfishly, I fight for my friends, and I will recklessly attack both attacks on her.
With
my great axe, yeah.
Do it. Make it reckless.
That is, because I've got the Hell's Drying Strength, it's ++, so it's an unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20.
On the first one.
Just hits. So you can see that she brings out the weapons to cross over, and the axe just bats into her, taking some of the strength that she has to actively do it. But as soon as that first hit comes in, she immediately twists under the guard and makes herself very difficult to hit the second move.
Sorry, I realised that was a +9. I was great with mastering for no reason. The second attack is... Oh, that's definitely cocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Fine. It will be a +9 on a 15, so that is a 24.
24 just hits. So even with the second hit, she goes to spin, and you can see her flip over your attack, but you just catch her on the leg as she crashes back to the ground. Make your rolls.
I will, so...
2 damage rolls there. They're just reckless attacks, right?
Yeah, they are. So that is a 9 on the first one.
9 damage.
And that is a 13 on the second one.
13.
Yeah.
The impacts aren't meaningful enough to get any damage on her, but it's thwack, and you can see her hit the ground, visibly like exhausted slightly by having to defend that attack.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. And she spins the sword around and starts circling you, but doesn't go to attack you this round. What would you like to do?
Ooh. I thought she was going to attack me. Need her to attack me. I am just going to attack. 2 attacks, not reckless.
2 attacks, not reckless.
Yeah.
Go for it. With disadvantage as she's dodging right now.
So
You can see the blades whipping around and catching your axe as you try to swing.
Disadvantage.
You can see her style is she has 2 large longswords in her hand, slightly bigger than Bear Claw in each. They are large longsword weapons, but she swings them around with ease and skill, being able to drop the guards and flip the handles around and then grabbing them when she needs to. What was your first attack? 17. She just parries the first one with her left hand, spinning, getting closer to you.
Okay.
Second
attack. Disadvantage. Oh, that's the same.
That's cocked, yeah.
Well, it's also the same, so it wouldn't be higher than
This time she just dodges to the right as your axe thunks into the ground and you have to rip it through as she sort of passes the sword from one hand to the other and just goes to smack you in the face with her fist.
Oh, bring it.
You attacked recklessly?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, she's just got a regular attack. That would be 19 to hit.
Can I get lucky on that,
You
please?
can. It's the same roll, unfortunately.
Ooh, that's interesting. Yep.
19. So she sort of ducks and smacks you across the face. You take 6 points of damage as the fist just has more. So it's half to 3. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
You're dodging.
Sorry.
It's the force. You try and like stomach your way out of it, but it's more force in that impact than her form would suggest. She's strong, very strong. Being able to just parry your great axe like that, incredibly strong. The second one now comes to strike. Again, that's a 19 to hit.
I'm gonna let that one hit.
Yeah.
Me. Yeah.
Smack again. This one into your torso as you take a gut shot. Your air coming out of you. Another 3 points of damage. And as she passes the swords back to the other side. Come now. You said you were more powerful than this.
I don't want to make it that easy for you. Different green side going shit. Can I make an insight check into her? I want to know. Is she just teasing? Is she like playing with me? Can she? Yeah.
Make a check.
So that's a 13.
Well, she's definitely toying with you. Yeah, totally. She's the way she's spinning around you, the fact that she wasn't even attacking with her weapons. There's a theatricalness here. She's enjoying this, and the crowd, they are loving it, but they're trying to get behind you still. You're clearly the favourite in this fight, but yeah, she's toying with you.
It's gonna be really annoying. No, I'm gonna attack her. 2 attacks, not reckless.
Do it.
Disadvantage, or is she?
No, she attacked you last time, so go for it. The swords are up there, and she's going to try and parry you.
Of course. So the first one is a 24.
24 does hit, yeah. First attack is true.
Oh, that's an 18.
18 damage.
No, sorry, that's the second attack.
Second attack is
yes.
an 18. No, the second one doesn't. This time, again, she's the momentum of your first attack to then become very difficult to hit on your second.
Sweet.
So roll for damage.
Not as good. That's a 10 slashing damage.
10 slashing damage. Again, you're just beating into her guard. She's managing to deflect every single weapon attack, but again, the ones you're getting in causes her guard to break temporarily. Theren, make me an insight check as you're watching this fight with Kisaki.
16.
16. This woman is unnaturally strong. And actually, Aubrey, even with the improved strength, is still of an equal footing with this lady. You can see the fact that she's like, the axe and the swords will crash with big, bolts of sparks coming up. But, like, she won't back down. She holds the thing, and the way she's moving and spinning, she's clearly very dexterous as well. Incredibly tough fighter.
Do I suspect magical influence?
Make an Arcana check. This is something you might be able to pick up on.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You would recognise this, because it's one of your spells. The way that she focused on Aubrey, and that, again, you felt the static force, you suspect that she's been hunter's marked.
Is there an attendant near me?
Not at the moment. In the room you're in at the moment, it's just you and Kisaki, but going out of the room and to the right, you could definitely find like people in corridors. And
I'm going to do that.
Yeah? Okay, so you make your way out of the corridor. Make a perception check for me. See if you can spot someone in pressure.
Oh no!
6.
Not this time. You're looking and looking and looking and looking, but you can't see anyone. The hooded one, spinning the swords around. Okay, then. And we'll take 3 more attacks. It's
Brilliant.
1 sword, the other sword, 3 swords, spinning around. That is 15 to hit.
Does not hit.
Does not hit. That is a 20 to hit.
I'll find out what the third one is before I say anything else.
And that is a 16 to hit.
The 20 does not hit because I'm using... Oh, well, a look on the 21. 16
Look
does
on the
not
20.
hit. Yeah.
So 2 miss.
Yeah.
That is a 27. So
Let that one
we'll
hit.
go
Yeah.
for-
That's fine.
we'll
Yeah,
go for-
that's fine.
So she gets 1 hit in.
Okay.
You are injured, so she'll get a bit more.
It's fine.
How you doing?
We'll find out.
How's Aubrey doing?
I'm on 11 health.
17. That's 21 damage.
Is that halved at all?
Halved to 10.
Okay, 1 health.
1 health.
And you were all like, it's not worth healing me that 1 hit point. Vindication!
This time, she gets under your guard and cuts you under the arm. You wince. At the second one, she takes the pommel and just smacks you across the head. You're blinded temporarily, bleeding profusely. As you see, just as you wake, your eyes come open and you're just sort of wavering back. You see the sword just in front of your face, having very narrowly missed that last hit. She spins round, coming at you still. What would you like to do?
So knowing that this fight could soon be over, I would like to say to her, that anger you have for me, for this whole thing, is a good act. At least I know I'm right in this, and I will recklessly attack both times.
Make an intimidation check. When you say that, this is an act.
Okay, it's a +6. Ooh, that's alright, actually. That's an 18.
18. Okay. Make an insight check.
Ooh, exciting. 16.
Her eyes flick toward you. There's a confusion, sadness, anger. Anger. You've triggered something. She's not happy now as she comes at you. But your attack still.
Yep, reckless attack.
Might have tweaked something there.
Good. Oh, that's not going to hit. That's 17 on the first one.
17. No, she just slides to her knees, ducks under Matrix
style.
style. Swish over, coming closer to you all the same. You're trying to stay back. Your weapon is at slightly bigger distance than her swords. Second attack.
Come on. That was almost a natural 20.
It was.
Oh, that is a 23 to hit.
23 hits. Yeah, roll your damage.
It's even worse. That's a 9 slashing damage.
9. Yeah, this time she catches the axe and it hits the swords in front of her chest, just using the spark, so she rips it off.
And as she does that, I just spit in her face, the blood from my face. Giving no fucks now.
She just sort of wipes it off and then goes to stab you.
Yeah.
No, Theren. So you're in the corridor.
Yeah.
After a few seconds, you do see an attendant just sort of making his way out of one of the competitors' rooms, and sort of you can see bloody bandages, a couple of implements for healing people, and sort of quickly is making his way off to another room.
Okay, can I reach him within this turn?
Yeah, well, you can shout, you can talk, you can...
Great, yeah, I am going to shout as I'm running towards him, and if I get within range, literally just grab him and start dragging him towards the arena.
Yeah, what, are you saying anything to him, or just grabbing him?
Yeah, as I grab him, I'm going to say, the hooded one is cheating. She's using a spell called Hunter's Mark. I know it because I can do it.
But you can see just
No,
a small
your final
human.
is a sham. She's cheating.
This like, probably about 14? You'd say a young sort of young male human. He sort of looks up at you and goes, "What?"
Tell the High Priest now.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, Theren.
22.
22. There's a moment where he looks like he's going to try and pull away from you and just run away, but he's like, magic.
Hunter's Mark.
Maybe it's the precise nature of what you're saying, but there's a moment where he goes, right, this way, and he sort of takes you towards the arena, and it looks to be beelining for one of the guards on the sides. You can see sort of guarding the entrance on the outside, but...
I'm ready. Bring it.
It is your go.
No, it's your
No,
go.
it is, no, sorry. It is the hooded one's go. She will attack you.
At advantage.
At advantage, it's a natural 1. And a crit.
Fine. I think that will hit. And I've got to be honest.
Let's just
see.
see what it would do. Not so good rolls at time.
Oh no.
It would be 22 damage on the crit, half to 11. So she just like disarms you, slash, the axe comes thrown to the ground. She smacks you with the elbow into the face, and then the sword just slices into your stomach. You can feel it poking out the back of you as the world goes dark, and she rips it out. And she spits at you. And at the last moments, as you fade to black, don't you ever say that you know me. And just as you collapse, straight back down.
Fantastic.
Theren, you are pulled to the side of the arena, and you can see them sort of like pull on the edge of one of the armoured guards. He sort of goes, "What is it, boy?" This man...
I repeat everything in like very prompt, concise language.
Yeah. At this point, the arena is a cacophony of noise. You can see the celebration of the High Priest comes over. The attendants already dragging Aubrey away towards your sort of entrance.
Let me in.
I can't, sir. But we will come to the attention of the High Priest.
The High Priest has to know now. If the High Priest announces the hooded one as the victor while cheating, it is an affront to Xanor.
The victors! Straight out into the arena. The crowd cheer, standing on their feet. The guard looks at him and goes, "Trust me, no good will come of this now. We will let him know." Hunter's Mark, you say?
Hunter's Mark.
He sort of turns to the side to an attendant. You can see no armour this time, but another guard. This time you can see a wand to his side, several arcane trinkets. "Is this true?" He goes, I didn't detect any, but and you can see you weren't paying attention, were you? Well, and you can see him just go bright red. Maybe, well, and you can see just getting flustered. Whether this arcane person was in charge of investigating or keeping track of this sort of thing, he's just going bright red as the guard just goes.
I say to the guard, "I know the spell because I can do it.
Fine.
Trust me."
This has happened before.
And what is the punishment? My ally deserves more than this defeat.
Exclusion. Exclusion, exile, banishment from the cathedral, something like that.
Good.
So
when it's over,
make your way back to the holding arena. The High Priest, he wanted to say hello to you in person.
I go back.
Wonderful. You can see Aubrey dragged back into the room. Kisaki is sort of... Theren, what, you okay?
The hooded one cheats. It's a spell, Hunter's Mark. I can do it myself. As I'm talking, I'm just kind of walking over to Aubrey and lay on hands. First level, because it's all I can do.
Lay on hands is your paladin thing, right? So you can just...
I meant
Cure wounds again.
Sorry.
Cure wounds.
Lay on hands has been spent.
Yeah.
That is going to be...
Is it 1 hit point?
No, it's 10.
10 hit points.
Hooray.
Okay, Aubrey, you sort of
Oh,
come fucking back. It's just agony in your stomach.
okay.
Right, now you're awake as well.
Hello.
It'll be quicker telling the pair of you. She cheated.
What?
She used Hunter's Mark on you.
So I win by default. Spit blood.
I don't know, but they're aware.
Okay.
I've told them.
Yeah. Good. Great. Well, I could not have gone any better.
At this point, some attendants burst into the room with several glasses of wine, plates of food, breads and meats and cheeses. You can see the quite shy-looking magic user from before. Again, his robes sort of tucked, almost like hiding in them as best he can, as if you wasn't somehow noticed. He goes, you mentioned cheating.
Yes.
Please tell me more. And you can see he goes over to Aubrey and there's a sort of like flash of divine magic as you are healed for 7 hit points.
Wow.
That is
I
small.
genuinely thought you were going to say 70 and I was like, whoa!
No. 7. That's no 6th level heal
No,
spell.
I know. I was like,
Goodness
what the fuck
me.
is this guy doing here?
No, as far as you're aware, you don't know anybody in Yibrit with that powerful
No.
magic. No.
No.
I'd tell the whole story when I first sensed it, when I figured out what it was.
Yeah, and he starts
I
asking
know
you,
what it
how
is.
did you know? Sense. And he rounds on you. Is there anything that gave it away? Anything that you could vouch for? You were there.
Now that I think about it, I thought her taunts were really, really homed in on me, but that definitely could have been her magic. Yeah, I just get very quiet thinking, oh.
Okay. Well, I will.
11 hit points.
I definitely do remember it definitely was magic.
Every so often, Theren is just leaning on you. I like to imagine it's a defibrillator whenever
And I'm just like slowly quietening down.
Okay, if you're helping, Theren, make a persuasion check with advantage, because Aubrey is begrudgingly backing up your story.
Okay.
Advantage.
Oh.
12.
Whoa.
Okay, fine. So, you are given food and wine. Kisaki just quickly picks up a glass and downs half of it and then just sort of sits there, giving you a funny look, Aubrey, just a sense of like... So he gets the katana out and starts sharpening it in sort of with a small whetstone that she's got in her.
I'm just holding my side.
I'm sorry, Aubrey. You didn't deserve to be beaten by that.
No, I actually expected it, to be honest with you. Although this time I did actually hit her, so that was impressive. That's an improvement for next.
You got a few good hits.
I
then.
did.
You
Yeah.
expected it? You sound almost like you planned to lose.
There was no way I was going to win. You've seen how people react to her, so I thought I would try and get under her skin, which I did.
Yes, but you
One
spent
for
too long
Aubrey.
stalling.
I found.
No, you let your anger slip, and it was a moment of vulnerability she was able to capitalise on.
Well, that's the good point. She's vulnerable. She's. It's all an act. She makes it out that she's some cool.
It doesn't
Professor.
matter. She won't be back here ever again.
What? Why?
Because she cheated. Those are the rules.
What? No, you didn't say that. No, I need to speak to her. Where is she? I want to see her.
Why do you want to speak
The
to the
attendant's
person
sort of
that
looking
cheated
at you. She's the other side of it. She normally leaves pretty quickly.
No, I need to. I'll try and get up and to try and find
Should
her.
she not be detained because of the cheating?
We have guards. They will be dealing with it. I promise. You can see the rogue person is getting a little bit.
I am trying to get out to try and
Perhaps
find
I
her.
should go and assist. I can use my magic if this person needs detaining happily.
At this point, a figure comes into the room. You can see ceremonial robes, still in full flow, the leathery bits under his arms, the very Elvis-style outfit in jet black. You can see sort of still in his hand the magical wand that he uses to project his voice to the crowd. That is quite all right. We have her. We'll be questioning her. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. There's nothing worse than breaking our sanct rules in a place of faith like this. It's not in the spirit of worship. Please, when the three of you are ready, I would ask, come dine with me. It would be an honour to get to know you personally. And sort of moves his way out and kind of just gestures you to her. Everything in his movements is theatrical. Brings his arms and sort of passes by with a genuinely warm smile on his face as he makes his way out of the room and sort of waits for you to follow him.
Theren sort of nods at Cass, looks at Aubrey, kind of head tilt. You alright?
I'm fine. Why would she be trying to win? Why is she cheating? What does she gain from this?
I don't know, but
that's what we need to find out.
yes, and I'm
She knows who I am. She knows about Amblegrounds.
alright.
No one here knows about Amblegrounds.
Look, we will speak to her. We shall speak
She's
to the High
heard
Priest
of me.
and see.
I say it as a joke. People have heard of me.
Right.
Right.
Fine. If we can talk to her, we shall. But now, let's follow.
I follow.
Perfect. Kazaki follows you out. You're led into the underground aspect of the cathedral. Keep saying cathedral. It is more like a Colosseum-esque arena in the way that it circles around. You are led into the underground depths. You descend 3, 4, 5 flights of steps deep underground, making your way through tunneled, vaulted corridors. You can see sort of you move left, right, doors on either sides, just dormitories, places for guards to stay, weapon racks, cleaning equipment, huge areas for people to cook and clean. It is like a community, like a city within the cathedral. You would suspect that should needed, you wouldn't have to leave this place for some time and be catered for pretty effectively. But you're led further down and down until you get to a corridor with only one door at the end of it, very elegantly painted in golds and silvers and blues and reds and whites. It's opened, and before you see an extremely luxurious hearth kitchen, dining room with a large log fire roaring, warmth in the room, opulently decorated with gold cutlery and goblets and plates and knives and forks. You can see weapons ceremonially displayed across the walls, big tapestries and paintings of duels and fights and tales of Xanor. You can see the Xanor, the dwarven god, with his hammer in hand, smiting his foes, lovingly creating artifacts. You can see him raising small young dwarven children sort of lovingly from their mother's arms, just in various religious-esque positions, and the table in front of you set for at least 20 people. But you are led to one side of it, the high priest sitting down at the top end. You can see his goblets and ceremonial equipment, even more luxurious than the rest of the beautiful stuff on this table. As you're sat either side it, he gestures you in, and within seconds the table is laden with foods. You can see this time it seems to be some sort of meat. You would guess a mutton of some kind, but it's been stewed. The smells of this pot wafting into the room. Breads, hot breads, wines, very ambery looking spirit, not whiskey, brighter than that you can't quite gauge as soon as the attendants leave. These are shocking times. If what you're saying is true, then a scandal has occurred, and I apologise that you have been made part of this. I truly meant no slight of your honour or in any way to dupe you. Know that we were duped as well. But, such sour news aside, I am High Priest Glint Zarnoson. It is a pleasure to meet you. Please, your names.
Aubrey Amblecrown, aka Stormbreaker.
I know your fighting name, child.
Oh, okay.
Aubrey. It is a pleasure to meet you. Amblecrowns, I do know.
I sit down really heavily.
Yes, no, previously they've helped with several contracts when we were refitting the Colosseum. And yourself?
Theren at Alaric.
I see. And sort of points towards Kasaki, whose surname I have got,
Whoa.
and I just haven't opened.
We need to write it down.
I genuinely do.
To her.
She's your childhood
Um,
friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Kasaki.
I know her
There's always
first
one thing
name.
you haven't opened.
I think it's
So I'm just
Smith.
like, am I
Kasaki
on...
Smith.
Kasaki Smith, yeah. Smith Green.
Kazaki Alabaki.
Wacky Backy.
Boo.
Alright, so hang on.
Kasaki Johnson.
I open up the character sheet. You see, it's good to have it on a laptop.
Yeah.
Even I forget all the time stuff, and it's totally normal.
Kasaki.
Kawasaki.
I have seen it. I've just forgotten as well.
Kasaki.
No judgments.
It's alright.
Yeah.
We've never actually said it.
Oh, would I actually not know it?
You would know it, but I'm going to tell you now.
Great.
She sort of nods. Kasaki Akiyama. It's a pleasure to...
I like
Very
it.
close.
What did you say?
Makiyama. Also do
Say
that.
something
Maki.
similar.
Akiyama, yes. Akiyama.
Have you spelled that right, David?
It's
In your nice new book?
It's not new. I've had it for ages.
it's a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you for taking part in the tournament. It has been a pleasure to have you all fighting with us. It is a truly splendid thing to bring the citizens of Ubrit together in this, to encourage the worship of Xanor in this way. Tell me a bit about yourself. From where do you hail? Amber Crowns, I seem to remember Harpley, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Do you travel here often?
Yes. Although I recently separated from the family business, thought I'd set out on my own.
Did?
Yeah. What?
Well, a very
Oh, right.
valiant thing to do. I hope under good terms.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, pleasure to have met you as an independent venture, and he pays up his goblet. Success to you in future.
Yeah,
She
all me.
takes a drink. And Theren, Paloric, from where do you hail?
The same.
Make a deception check. Oh no, you are from Harpley. No, technically, you are still from Harpley.
Well, to his knowledge.
Yeah? I know what it is. No?
Deception check. Surprise.
Harpley, a fantastic place of the world. And yourself, Kasaki? And she, yes, Harpley as well.
The
I
Harpley
see.
Free, they call us.
Oh, it's not often we get such a large amount of travellers from Harpley, but a wonderful place. Are you all based in Appleby?
I was, but I've recently become a citizen of Ubrit.
Have you
I
now?
have.
That is fantastic news. It's a pleasure to have somebody so strong as a fully fledged member of
Yep.
our community.
Oh, that's alright.
We are a funny bunch here in Ubrit, but we make ends meet and we come together and help each other when needed.
Well, I'm glad to contribute to that.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you.
Pleasure to be
Speaking of, and he sort of gestures, sort of claps and gestures in, and an attendant comes in with a big plate with 3 boxes in very much a bronze, silver, and gold display on them. Brings them out. Your prize winnings for this tournament. It would be amiss of me to go any further into this luxurious meal without giving you your just reward. Passes you the smallest box, Theren. For reaching the quarterfinals, 100 gold pieces. Congratulations on your achievement. May it serve you well.
I know.
He passes the medium-sized box to Kasaki. Kasaki, you thought well. It's a shame that you were bested by your friend, but amongst friends, one will always beat the other. When fighting, it's just inevitable. He seems like he just totally gets himself. He is
Yeah. He
totally-
just believes every word he says.
totally
I love it.
in it. Yeah.
So deep. I'm so deep.
She opens up the box and her eyes go wide. 250 gold pieces for you. It is again a pleasure to give this upon you, Kasaki, and may it serve you well. And she sort of nods and thank you. Sort of looks down at it. Sort of closes the box. Looks at you, Theren.
You get used to it.
Used to. Sort of like looks down. And then the largest box is brought to you. Opens it up. This time full of gold. Too much to count easily.
Yeah.
Aubrey, for making it to the final, 500 gold pieces. Congratulations again. I'm sorry that you were beaten. You will understand that this is the runner-up pot.
Yes.
If the suspicions are proven, if the grounds are upheld, then the Hooded One will be brought before me to explain her actions, and action will be taken accordingly. If we decide to disqualify, then we will contact you for your share of the winner's pod. But thank you very much for fighting. I really, truly hope that this serves you well. Please, everybody, tell me, why Yibret? What brings you here? There's one thing I've learned about this strange place, is that everybody has a reason for being in Yibret. I'm fascinated.
Well, you are the runner-up. Perhaps you should go first.
I mean, I was here to help some cargo from my family, just on a trip, and I just took a liking to Yibret and the way everyone's just crammed in all together. So I thought I'd make my living here. And I saw your wonderful temple and tournament, and I thought, you don't get that back at home. So I thought I'd try it out, and I've done it ever since.
There's some truth there,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of lie as well.
Yeah.
Make a deception check.
That's an unnatural 20.
Natural 20 sort of nods. Well, we certainly have an impressive Colosseum here. I'm very glad that you frequented it. Yes, Yibret is a funny place. It attracts all sorts, but much can be found here. Many things, many people, many secrets. It's a unique place. I can't say I care for it particularly myself, but I go where the flock is. And Theren, what brings you here?
I came here looking for my mother. Cass is a childhood friend of mine, and she agreed to help me.
I see. Your mother, tell me, do you know much about her?
Not a thing. Only that she may be half-elven like I, or an elf.
Well, that is sad news indeed. I'm sorry. Did you know her before?
Never met her.
That is a shame. And your father never told you about her?
No.
That's, I'm sorry to hear that, Theren. And, Kasaki, what brings you here? And you can see her face just sort of, is going white.
As she goes white, I say, as I said to you, High Priest, Kasaki is a childhood friend of mine, and she agreed to help me search.
Make a performance check to see if you can get that one through. 12. He sort of puts his hand up. No, Theren, it's fine. Kasaki, please, in your own words, what brings you here? And she sort of... I was accompanying Theren on his journey to find his mother. It's been a long quest, but we will hopefully find some answers. She too is going to make a deception check. -1 on that. There's a moment where you can see his eyes sort of narrow slightly, and he big smile goes on his face. Well, that does indeed sound like quite the quest. Please, and at this point more food is being served, and I assume you're eating whilst talking and enjoying the food.
Yeah, I will. And I'm like, but where do you hail from? And I can tell that something's not right. So I'm like, where do you hail from if you're not from Yibret originally? And small talk. That's what I'm trying to do.
Just drinking.
Well, I am actually not from far away.
Oh.
There is a large mountain, Swallow Mount. I don't know if you know about it.
Do I know about it?
Swallow's Mount, I should say. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you got me there. Do I know of this place?
Make a history check.
That's a natural 1.
Natural 1. Probably something with birds.
Really? A lovely place.
Yeah. It's not far. It's 200 miles to the east.
Ah.
My dwarven community from whence I hail, they live beneath the rock there, but it was never my place. I followed the teachings of Xanor and he took me here.
Praise be.
Praise be.
Silent.
That is some amazing armour the three of you have. It's fine work. Dwarven, I would guess. Where did you get it?
Where did we get it?
The splint mail is from. Is it Gold? Was it Gold? Sorry, was it Goldspire? The name? No, Goldspire with Matt Arnan. The guy in.
Fargrim?
Yes. The splint mail is from Fargrim.
Yes, I know him well. He frequently helps the cathedral with its needs. It's a good man, Fargrim.
Mine and Aubrey's armour was picked up by a travelling dwarven trader some time ago.
Make a deception check.
I'm not.
Always just shake hand.
I'm like, oh, Fargrim, his wife, I fought him in the arena
14.
last time.
Really?
Yeah, the hammersmith.
14.
Yeah.
15. Again, he sort of nods. Wow, that's quite the lucky find. It's a beautiful, beautiful work.
Can I insight check to see if he's believing my lies thus far?
There's a couple of moments of you can make an insight check.
13.
13. It's an uncomfortable atmosphere, certainly. It's not the easiest conversation you've had. There's a prickliness.
All right, so I sigh. Yeah. The truth is that I cannot tell you where we got this armour, for we swore not to.
I see.
And I cannot tell you why Kasaki is here or I am, because we swore not to.
That makes sense.
I apologise for the deception. It was necessary.
It was necessary, yes. For I know Alaric. I know the Order. I know where you've come from, Theren. And you, Kasaki. And you can see his expression goes sour at this point. There is a reason why the Order is banned. And it is because you spread evil wherever you go. To think that you come freely and openly into Ybrit, where you are banned, something that I helped very gladly to introduce. The destruction the Order has led on the dwarves, my home, on the temple, the cathedrals of Xanor. The nerve. The nerve of you to be here right now.
Perhaps Kasaki and I should leave the two of you to your
No,
refreshments.
wait. High Priest, look, I can vouch for them. I, too, am not fond of this, but they've saved my life more times than I care to count. So I know that they're not evil. And they have not come here to spread the word of the Order. They are just here at my request. And
But they will. I know all about them. The lack of insignia, the three moving of them across Ybrit, they
Forgive me,
are
have we met?
novitiates.
Yes.
I am the head priest of a very large cathedral in Ybrit, the largest cathedral in Ybrit. I know about you. I can pay people to tell me things. It is essential for the safety of my cathedral to know everybody, especially those who compete in the cathedral, and especially those who compete well. Soon as we saw you, newcomers, immediately making a scene in the cathedral, I thought, I wonder who these three are. I wonder what their game is. Where's that Dragonborn? Is he one of the Order as well?
No.
No.
And he is why we are here speaking to you. Now, forgive me, but I understand your distaste for our people. But, correct me if I'm not wrong here, but your own attendants were not paying attention to that fight. The entire reason, no, She cheated,
I know.
and they know because of me.
That is fair. No, I will hold my hands out and say we failed, and well, I'm disappointed. It's a sacrilege to a sacred religious combat. That is something more important than winning. That is something that is a sanct act. It's not right.
And if I may, despite the differences in our faith, I respected your church. I have much more powerful magics than I have displayed, and I did not use a single one competing in your tournament.
That I would believe. And that was a good and right thing for you to do. But I have no respect for you, Theren. Nor the Order.
Fine.
I understand that they may have saved your lives on more times than you can count, though I doubt that is true. But they have taken...
Be quiet, David.
If you wish to know what more than you can count truly means, then add the names of the lists that we keep in this cathedral the Order took from my family, from my... They are evil. They disgrace Perith, a good god, a just god, a god whose cathedral stands almost in ruins because of the image the Order give her.
This is... If my Order disgraced Perith, so why does she speak to me more than she has most others?
Make an intimidation check with advantage, because that is a very good point.
So the first one's 29.
29.
I want to see who gets a...
Second one's a 29.
Holy
Here
shit!
come your big rolls. He sits back in his seat. She speaks to you.
Yes. I take out the symbol of Perith that High Priestess Bray gave me. This was given to me by High Priestess Bray herself. Do you think she would present such a gift if I was not a beacon of Perith's light?
Put it away. Put it away.
Goes back onto the arm.
Sort of. My actions must seem irrational to you, and for that I apologize, but I do not... I cannot feel sorry for how I feel or how I'm acting. It is based on rational and logical thought. You may leave. I thought very much about inviting the guard down here to arrest you, but if truly the High Priestess can vouch for you, and I recognize her symbol.
Well, actually, we need your help. And I sort of put the 500 gold back, and I said, I would rather have a favour from the Cathedral of Xanor
My thing goes back to.
than monetary wealth right now.
No. That is gold given for religious combat. It is right to give it to you. A favour from the cathedral requires you to be in good standing with the cathedral, and I cannot allow somebody travelling with members of the Order to benefit from my cathedral. But if she truly favours you, enough to give you her symbol, she's a good woman. Foolish, clearly, but she means well. I cannot give you a scroll. I know why you're here. I've been watching you. I've spoken to the High Priestess. She spoke of your conversation, but not of yours. It's not often that somebody comes into a cathedral asking for a scroll of greater restoration. It's a notable act.
I didn't ask for confidentiality, but okay. I guess when you all get together, you do talk.
No. It's because it's important that I know. She has no choice in the matter. I do not have one. The cathedral doesn't have one. We had 3 amongst other healing equipment, and they were stolen
When?
about 2 months ago.
By people wearing masks by any chance?
We don't know.
Or someone that you've got in custody just now?
We don't know.
If we can retrieve these scrolls, would we be able to keep one?
Yes. You would.
And would we be able to barter or make an agreement on a second? There is another that we would help.
1 scroll in exchange for their retrieval. A second in exchange for you capturing and bringing back whoever stole it, so that they may answer Xanor's wrath and judgment.
Done.
Sort of holds his hand up,
Oh, please.
shakes it, very quickly pulls his hand back. Then it is so. I wish you luck on your travels. I'd like to officially state here and now that until reputation is restored and I have means to believe you and to believe in you, you are, at least for now, exiled from the cathedral.
No.
I ask that you do not return,
Not even to train?
not even to train.
Fuck.
I will know. I do not have anything else to say. Good luck on your journey.
What will happen to the hooded one?
We'll deal with her.
And if her deception is proved, will Aubrey's good standing return?
Aubrey, you have no ill will, particularly with the church. The church has no ill will with you. You choose questionable company, and for that, I will exile you with your company. But I ask that you question your choices. Be very careful about who you talk to and who you associate with. You know not of what the order can do.
I don't firsthand, but I have gathered that, as I've said, I can vouch.
I look forward, Aubrey, to when we have this conversation again. Once you know. Once you have seen it.
I walk out.
I will not participate again.
Thank you.
I nod. I leave.
Kasaki sort of follows you out. And you make your way escorted rather rapidly from the cathedral.
I lost my training area.
Make a perception check, everybody. Kasaki will make one as you're leaving. Nope.
Nope.
That's a bloody natural 1!
Okay, so 11 then.
11 is enough.
Oh, thank God.
I've got tears in my eyes, I'm just walking
As
away.
you are being escorted, you make your way above ground to ground level, and as you're coming to the main entrance and sort of leaving, you're escorted through the crowds of audience members. Again, you have at this point 6 to 7 guards sort of escorting you out and making sure that you leave the cathedral. Theren, you notice a sort of slight disturbance amongst the guards coming in a different direction, and you just offhand hear, "What do you mean she escaped? And just running past.
Theren turns to Kasaki and Aubrey and sort of like under his breath relays the information.
She's so cool.
Brufner. So, you've been spending some time. You've gathered a couple of leads. You're making your way around sort of plans. What sort of thing would you be getting up to?
Meanwhile,
Okay, so after kind of making sure the shop's okay and my apprentice is alright with the work, I leave the shop, muttering to myself, I hope those adventurers keep a low profile today.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Did we say that my disguise kind of outfit I was thinking of, I'd already be able to kind of put that together?
Yeah, easy enough to source. Yeah, the only difficult make it's a sort of combination of artistry and sort of getting a bit of what would this be?
Yeah, so it's kind
Make
of like
two checks for me. Can you make for me a performance check and insight check for me, please?
Okay, insight performance.
let's do this.
So,
Oh, what is that?
Jesus. So,
Is
9.
performance is 6 and insight is 16.
Insight is 16. Okay.
Hello! I'm definitely not.
Well, I'm not wearing it right now.
Oh,
Meow.
I see everything though.
Okay, great. So you collect the costume together. It's fairly decent.
So I'll take that home, just shove it home for now. It's a nighttime activity.
Mm-hmm.
Turn into a cat and head to the Adventurers Guild.
Okay.
And
So-
I will try and find Vincent.
Wonderful. So you make your way through the streets of Ybrit in feline form, sort of dodging between legs and ankles and feet, making your way through the gates and up towards the Adventurers Guild. Vincent takes you a few minutes to find. You've only met him a couple of times, but you eventually spot him in one of the reading rooms. You can see him consulting a large map of some kind of the local area. He sort of sees the cat and sort of, oh my goodness, you're a gorgeous thing, aren't you? Come here, little one. Come here. Oh, good God.
Hello.
That keeps happening to me. I am so...
Your words are very kind, Vincent. Thank you.
oh, right. You're welcome. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I sort of stands up. How can I help you, sir?
Hello. So,
Right.
I heard you the other day talking about the Red Sands.
Right. Yes.
It sounds fascinating. Unfortunately, I don't think the adventurers and myself are heading that way anytime soon, but I was
Right.
interested. Is this a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, or will it be on for a while, do you think?
Well, we've sort of bashing our heads against it a little bit, unfortunately. The planned expedition, it's stalled a little bit.
Oh,
A combination of funding issues, a combination of not getting enough security detachment in. I offered to go myself, but unfortunately nobody else is really volunteering at the moment, so the whole thing's sort of stalled a little bit.
oh well, that's both sad to hear, but also maybe convenient for us.
Well, I mean, if you're certainly interested, I didn't want to band your names around, but if you're willing to go, I'm sure the introduction of the lot of you, fabled heroes and yourself, would be more than enough to persuade more funding, more backing.
Yes, sadly I think they have other plans for the moment.
Right.
More pressing priorities.
Oh, well, that's a shame, but never mind.
It is. I am a little disappointed. Shanks set me up with these adventurers, but they don't seem particularly adventurous. They just want to stay around and fight crime.
Fight crime? What are they
Yes.
doing?
Well,
I mean, I've seen them fight like ogres and lizards, but crime? That's a whole other thing.
yes, it requires a certain degree of subtlety. I don't necessarily think
Oh,
they're...
no, good God, you're screwed.
Yes. And
Oh God, no. And he sort of thinks to himself, oh no.
yes, it's going to go horribly wrong, and I fear for both my shop and the guild.
Oh goodness, they're going to need some help, aren't they?
Someone with maybe a dash more subtlety.
Well, and he takes his cap with a large feather and swishes it.
Do you know anyone?
Well, yes, I'm surprised he didn't ask for me.
Yes, you of course.
Right.
Great.
Right.
You've so you know.
Well, no, you've ticked all the boxes today, good sir. It's quite a conversation we're having.
Sorry.
Well, do let me know when they're doing something that a good old Vincent will help out.
Do you know much of the criminals in this place? You know.
Do you know crime?
Well, yes, they're all buggers, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes,
They are.
nasty little rats. Goodness me, scurrying away.
Do you know crime?
Why, are you looking for anyone in particular?
One up on crystal meth.
Our group seemed to be rather disgruntled with these men who wear masks or women wearing masks.
Masks?
Yes.
Oh yes, no, we heard yeah, they did mention.
Nothing about
Well,
that?
no, only the story that they mentioned about, what's his face, Captain Grumac.
Mm.
And that encounter, that's, well, that is troublesome indeed. Well, do say if you need any help. I'm afraid I don't have any leads myself on that one, but I will certainly give my assistance where I can.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. I'll let them know. I think this might sway them towards maybe a little more cautious approach.
Well, I think, yes,
Can I
certainly.
ask you one more question?
Please.
I am not interested personally in any shopping for illegal items, but I have to profess I'm curious. Do you know of the undermarket?
Ooh.
Write down those.
Well, I've heard tales of it. A few members of the guild, all members of the guild, they bring back things that maybe couldn't be sold on the open market from trips. There's supposedly a way of getting rid of everything. I'm afraid I don't know of a market per se, but I would imagine there's probably some sort of system of dealing with stolen goods. What's it called? Fences, that sort of thing. I imagine there's something around.
Could you point me in the right direction, or point me in the direction of
Wouldn't
someone who
have
could
the
point me in the right
foggiest.
direction?
Myself and Odie, we try and keep a quite reputable image. Unfortunately,
Yes.
it's well, if you have a shady reputation, you tend to get quite shady jobs. And as mercenaries, we try to, well, explorers, I would say.
Yes.
We try to be contracted to everything above board. It makes life a lot easier. I'm afraid we distance ourselves from that sort of thing.
I'm 100% with you. Reputation is very important.
Right, subtlety. Yes, no, I totally agree.
Okay, so
Good God, you really need to... What are they doing now? I dread to think.
I asked, I hope they're keeping it, but they said they were going to a tournament or something.
Oh, yes, they did say... Oh. Well, they're going to be known now, so,
Oh, good.
you know, that's that.
Okay.
Have you thought about disguises?
Yes. I've bought my own one. I should probably
Smashing.
buy some from them. But what would I dress them up as?
Oh, black capes,
Black capes.
scary masks,
Scary mouse.
big hats. I love big hats. They're fantastic.
Shit. I'm writing this down. 1 second, Vincent.
Oh, you're very welcome. Here, and he takes a very large, elaborate quill from his hat and a pot of ink from like one of his side pouches and starts to scribble it for you. Hands you a note. It just says big hats, masks, black coats, black cloaks.
This is very helpful, Vincent.
And you're very welcome. Very welcome.
Am I speaking loud enough, by the way? I've been told I mumble.
Well, I can hear you just fine. Yes, that's
Oh,
wonderful.
good.
Yes, thank you.
Right. Well, thank you. I was going to search for Shanks, but you have been more than helpful.
Well, I hope so. Yes,
And
well, give the
maybe
word if
you-
you need some assistance, and I'll
Maybe you warn him too that some of his guild members are going to go on a rampage, maybe.
Right. No, that's probably a good idea. Oh, you don't think they're going... What are they going to do? They're not going to kill someone, are they?
No. Kill. Well. You know the religious ones. They have a very childish view of good and bad. Kind of one or the other, nothing in between.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Yes.
I'm terrified to be honest.
One is a mixing pot of a lot of different ideas.
Yes, I only hope to get in good favour with the big one, and maybe she can help me,
Well, that's a good idea.
stem the...
Yes, I
madness
heard
of
she
the other
was
two.
doing very well up at the arena, but...
Oh!
No,
really?
well, previously. I
Oh, okay.
had no idea.
Well, let's hope she doesn't win or come up second with some kind of legalities that mean she was probably actually the winner.
Yeah, she'll be on t-shirts, no doubt.
Yes, that would be terrible.
Well, good luck with that, and
Thank you, Vincent.
oh, no, you're very welcome. Sort of bows and gets back to his work.
Go outside the front and where next? That was quite useful. Cat form.
Again,
I can imagine he's actually saying cat form.
retreats back into
I
cat
think the
form.
idea in Vincent's room, this was a whole wardrobe dedicated to different hats. That's what.
One outfit.
Yeah,
A
one
hat
hat
room.
hats. Yeah,
A
hat
30
hat
hats.
room. A walk-in hat room.
And I will head to the Alchemist Guild and
Okay.
seek out Percy,
Ooh,
So.
Percy.
the Guildmaster.
Let me just get my notes on the alchemist.
Percy.
That's in here because I put it away. Hang on.
I did
One
warn him I
second.
had plans.
Yep, you did. I've written it
Word
down.
ready. I'll grab that
But I
prize.
just
That
didn't
was
have it here. Where have I put it? Oh, there we go. Yep. Got it.
Well, that
Okay.
one's just there.
Smashing. So, cat form, you skulk your way again through
My
the
last
streets
cat
of
form.
Yibret, making your way to the familiar Alchemists Guild. What would be your reputation with the guild? What sort of stance are you with them? Are you pro-guild? Part of the guild in terms of your shop is a fully fledged member under their support but paying dues and expensive, a bit of sucking up to them, hierarchy, or are you more freelance but unprotected in business, independent? Well, what would you say?
I'd probably pay... I'd be like a member, but I would keep my distance. So a member out of politeness, probably.
A small endorsed by
Yeah.
in the window.
It's a kind of political... I don't want trouble, but at the same time, I want to do my own thing. Or my brother and I would want to do our own thing.
Fun. Wonderful. So, you get to the Alchemist Guild, a large, circular, tall tower. Again, familiar smokes of purples and greens and blues billowing from different windows and pipes and chimneys. You can see lights occasionally flashing from within. People definitely give it a strange look as they walk past a berth, giving it distance as you make your way to the large wooden door. You can see huge metal bars across each side, fortified almost. It does look like a miniature turret, this place.
Okay.
So in cat form, you skulk your way across.
And I can probably remove cat form at this point. It's mostly for entering and exiting the Adventurers Guild.
Yeah,
do.
yeah, you can appear like maybe in a side street round the corner.
Yeah,
something
something
like
like that.
that. Yeah, totally.
Human no.
No.
Would have.
Yeah,
Got my race.
perfect. You arrive at the Alchemist Guild.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and seek out the Guildmaster.
Perfect. So you knock at the door.
Yeah.
There's a dum, dum, dum. You knock. Exactly.
Enjoy that.
Silence.
In the speakers later.
No response. You hear another crash from above,
From above.
just like something smashing.
Okay, wait.
Nothing.
Can't hear anything.
Make a perception check.
Perception, that is 23.
23. Maybe sort of the sounds of bubbling, experiments being distilled. You can hear the crackling of fire from inside and footsteps from inside.
I can hear footsteps the other side. Knock again.
What?
Is that Percy?
Who is it?
It's Bruca.
Who?
Bruca Betula Papyrifera.
Right. Busy.
It's...
You can see at this point like huge purple smoke just billows from under the door, the crack just wafting up in front of you, just a really tangible smell of like metallic substance just wafts into your nose quite repulsively.
Ugh.
I'm very busy.
I can tell. Do you need a hand? You look like you need a hand.
I'm fine, thank you.
Well,
What do you want?
an appointment then. I'd like to speak to you.
About what?
An opportunity for the guild.
Right.
And for advice.
Persuasion check.
Ooh.
Ooh. No. Persuasion, that's a 5.
I want advice.
There's a laugh. Advice. Oh, this would be fun. There's a thunk as the door opens and smoke wafts out, just bellowing onto the streets. Well, come in, come in.
Okay,
You let the stink out.
I head in.
The door closes behind with a thunk.
Can I tell what he was working on?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh. How do you see what they say?
Arcana, that's 11.
11. It's difficult to say. There's a lot of different experiments going around as you look around the room. Various burners, different vials of different colours bubbling away. You can see herbs are being dried, different components of it. You recognise different sort of types of potion making going on. Healing. There are various potions of sort of, you can see one is of invisibility, you would guess, is sort of halfway being distilled. Just various bits of pieces. Maybe one of fire resistance, maybe a tang in the air you might recognise. Very difficult to say. Percy, you can see a tiefling with bright blue skin, green eyes, and a very green beard. Sort of looks at you. Well, what do you want?
First, the promised opportunity. I have recently...
You paid your dues, right? It's not what this is about.
Yes, I paid my
Right,
dues.
good.
No, this is something I think you'd be interested in.
Checking. Go on.
Oh, this is why I never visit. Okay. I've overheard a birdie, not a natural birdie, though I have been speaking. I have overheard that the Adventurers Guild are trying to fund a trip to Red Sands.
That's what they do. They fund trips.
Your insight never fails to amaze, Percy. But the reason why this time is fascinating. Mushrooms and strange vegetation, potentially dangerous, otherworldly, springing up on this island. I think it could be of great interest to the guild.
Yes, well, I know you mentioned it. We have heard rumours. I think the trip fell through, correct?
Yes, a matter of funding. Now, I not right now, but maybe in the summer. It would be something I would be interested in forerunning if the guild was interested in funding.
Funding a trip?
Yes, and...
That's not what this guild is for. Goodness me.
No.
We need our dues. I'm busy making stuff. We've got all the ingredients we need. Why? What are you looking for? Is something special on this island? I just heard that there was mushrooms on it. Can't do much with mushrooms.
Mushrooms indicate strange occurrences. You're not interested in the unknown.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
What is that? I can't read
that's
it.
15 minus 1 as 14.
14. Well, we'll have to rarer ingredients, I guess. But surely if there's a trip to Red Sands, they'll just bring back whatever it is and we can just buy it. Not easier?
Yeah, you could, but if you have me there, I'd know what we're looking for, but...
You've got a shop, can't you fund it yourself?
I'm not going to push this further now, Percy. It is just something I thought I'd bring to you as a fellow member of the industry, but forget it.
Well, that's But honestly, I think we'd rather fund that miniature forest you wanted to plant before we were going to fund this sort of trip.
Yep, that didn't go through, did it?
No, it didn't.
Okay, well, to get rid of me then, can I just get some advice from you?
Well, go on, man. What's more mushrooms you need? You had any luck with that, twiggy thing you've got?
Not yet.
I told you. Both of you have been playing around with stuff for far too long. I should keep close around.
Yes, I know.
You want to go to Red Sands? You're not going to make it worse?
No. Listen. I have friends in... I've heard on the grapevine that places are being targeted, people are being targeted by a criminal gang. I am, of course, worried about my own shop, and I'm just worried if the guild has known of gangs giving our members difficulty.
Nope, definitely not. Nope, we've got the guard. They've promised that they're going to look after us 100%.
Insight. Can I tell if he's...
Inside
No,
check.
Certainly try.
no.
Eyes narrow.
Okay, that is 21.
Whoa.
21.
Whoa.
Yeah, he goes immediately defensive as soon as you start mentioning people hounding members. Oh, touchy subject.
This appears to be a touchy subject.
Look, I've already spoken to the guard about this previously. We're going to look into it.
Fine. I was also thinking of, on the down low, looking into it. If you could give me some advice or point me in the right direction.
What do you mean look into it?
I've come into a group who are trying to fight, or maybe investigate to help the guard.
Alright, I'll play ball. Yes, there are a group hounding. There's been a few targeted thefts on some of the shops within the guild. They never take much. Just rare stuff. Expensive stuff. A potion here. Ingredient there. Hundreds of gold each time, but very minimal stuff taken. Very, very targeted. I'm surprised they haven't bothered you yet.
I don't have a lot of interesting things.
We're trying to keep it on the down low. I'm glad you don't know. Look, I'll be honest with you. They stole something from me as well. There was a break-in here about 2 months ago.
What did they steal?
Potion of love.
Right. Could you describe the makeup of the ingredients to me? Maybe the bottle?
Trade secret.
Yes, but I have...
You know what it's like. It's not my invention. It's my thing.
I can find it if...
It's bright pink. Okay, I don't know why. I have no idea why it turned out bright pink. I tried dyes. I tried blue, black, green. Damn thing stayed pink. I thought I almost had it.
It's a good colour.
It got stolen.
The colour of spring.
Yes.
Uh,
Look, that stuff is powerful.
Okay.
It was refined. It was very expensive.
Continue describing the bottle. If this is something I can picture, I can use magic to try and locate it. So the bottle, was it clear glass? Was it ornamental?
It was, yes, clear glass. And sort of gestures and gives you a very, very generic looking beaker, effectively, like a sort of like a round topped, very stereotypical like triangular beaker.
Okay.
Scientific flask. Look, a drop of that stuff will give anybody second thoughts. I dread to think what people are doing with it.
Yes, it's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
But I will not judge. We are...
It's just research.
Yes, of course. All research
Yes.
is very interesting.
Right, well, if you find it, let me know.
Yes.
I might, let's see what I can do about that red sands thing for you.
I have one more question.
Right. Sounds like you had two things and now there are three.
Well, the first was an opportunity, the second is advice, so this is the second part of the second part,
Right.
which is advice.
2.2, gotcha.
2.2, yes. One of the things that this gang supposedly deals in, these masked men, is Arcanite.
Arcanite.
Yes.
Yes, I know that.
I'm less familiar.
Highly addictive.
I know this.
Deeply illegal.
I know this.
I don't know much about it. I tried to get my hands on some of it. It's apparently it amplifies magic, and no one knows why. It seems to stretch across boundaries that shouldn't be stretched across. Druidic magic, arcane magic, divine magic. They all seem to be affected by it. I don't know where they get it from. I heard tales that they dredge it up from somewhere, but all I know is it's damn expensive, damn illegal, and damn difficult to get hold of. Not that I've tried.
No, of course not. It is a
Right.
legal item. We would not ever try to go to...
Yes.
Jesus.
Don't you forget that. That's very important.
Where would you suggest not looking for such items?
Well, everywhere I've looked. Quite honestly, if I knew where to find it, I would have found it by now. I've come up against the dead leads,
So
unfortunately.
you've tried the undermarket?
Well, I've heard of its existence, but I'm afraid I don't know where it is.
No, it does. I presume down.
Well, that's a good chance.
No. Well,
My
thank
guess would be... Well, this sort of filth seems to spread where people like that live. Perhaps the slums?
you. Okay. I have seen... Yes. Okay. Thank you, Percy. I know I don't visit often.
No.
And
That's fine. Let's keep it that way. I'm
Yes.
very busy. Can anything else?
No, thank you, Percy. Shout next time there's ever a guild vote.
Yes, the weekly letter will
Good
be
luck with your love potions.
delivered tomorrow. See you later.
Bye.
Sort of gestures you out into the outside. And for now, we shall take a quick break. See you in a second. Welcome back. So, it's just a shock. It's just like, okay, cool.
Oh my god, we're recording this? Since when?
I hate to tell you this.
Right.
I have like 100 hours of you now.
Oh.
So it's going to be getting close. Episode 34, about 3 hours an episode.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
be
it's
it.
going mad. So, at some point over the course of the afternoon, just for a bit of expediency, you would all meet up probably at Brucar's shop for a little bit of privacy for you. I don't know if that's something you'd insist on or whether you'd be going to the Adventurers Guild. You're out of cats.
I've told them not to come.
Or is it a
to
short
You
rest?
did say-
then?
you did
short
s-
rest or long rest on cats?
long rest.
Long rest.
Long rest.
He did say.
Oh, short rest.
It's a short rest. Okay, right. So you've more
He
flexibility.
did say not to meet at his shop. He wasn't keen on
Okay,
us
fine.
doing
So
that,
potentially in Aubrey's room,
Yeah.
God's sake!
everyone seems to constantly just gather in.
Yeah.
You all meet together. Kasaki seems a bit down, a bit taken aback by the day's events. You can see, just the look of somebody computing events.
If that is so, can Theren collar her before they go into Aubrey's room?
You probably wouldn't notice it until
You're sat
everybody
down.
sat down and talking.
Okay.
With your passive insight, it's more of it's when you're sort of waiting for people to talk. It's when you notice it.
Sure.
Bruca, you would have had time if you wanted to gather other disguises based on the check you made earlier. So you can do what you want to do.
So, I begin to relay
There's a cat in my
what I've
room.
learnt from the day, and I go, so I think it's imperative that we keep a low profile. This will give us an advantage, and we can strike and really use a bit of subtlety with Vincent helping us. We will...
Does he know someone?
Ah, Captain Subtlety. Yes.
Apparently he's quite good at that stuff. Aren't you, Vincent? Vincent?
Is he here? Do you want to gather him in? You,
Should we
you,
get
can
him
have,
in?
you can have him in the conversation if you want.
Should we bring him in
I
a
assumed
bit?
it was just the four of you.
Yes, let's just talk for now.
Anyway, so
Probably trying on hats right now.
I couldn't really find any information on how to find the undermarket, except that the slums may be a good place to start. That's where I saw a man with black mask, or with a mask.
You
So
said, yeah.
it could be the same thing. Red Sands, the other trip that we weren't thinking of going on, that seems to have stalled, so there's no risk of that going off
Oh.
without us.
Good. Thank God.
For the moment, anyway. On the subject of
Arcanite. I don't think I've learned anything more than what you have, except that this is very dangerous and bad for you. I know we've had minor disagreements about how the next step should go on this. I still think we should be subtle before we start kidnapping and interrogating people. This city has eyes everywhere. And once we make a move, that's it.
Yes, so we have learned.
Yeah.
I agree, element of surprise is the most beneficial here.
And maybe going from an external point of view would mean there's limited collateral damage. So, Zelidia might be a good move. We hinder their supply of poison.
Without being too close to the multitude of spies in this city, yes.
We'll be able to tell the good from the bad. And I looked to cats who said they were bad people.
Yes. I still think we could do some damage here, but it's your decision. Your group's decision.
I agree with you, Cass, but I have to be honest. I think I agree with Brooker more in that approaching this from an outside angle first, we can contain the spread of information if we go to Zelidia. Here, as we've already learned today, there are eyes and ears everywhere.
And we don't know how many there are, or the strength, or have you described to me your encounter?
You probably would have, gone over.
We've gone over.
You've met like 6 with some mercenary hard hands. We don't know any more than that. Maybe your friend Grumak would have a better idea.
He's away.
He's away.
The one that still just is etched into your memories, especially yours, Aubrey, was that hooded, calm individual sat at the back for the whole encounter. You seem to be able to talk directly into your mind, and there was an element of control there that it was a very unnatural and a very strong power that even to this day makes you think, we don't know how powerful this is.
Yeah.
And that's not to put you off at all. That's just to remind you, those are the people that you've seen. You've seen what appear to be thugs, but you've also seen something else.
So maybe the best thing we can do right now is, fight them externally where there's less eyes.
I agree.
And speaking personally, the reason I'm so eager to help you is because Arcanite addiction, I've tried to help people with it before. And addiction is hard to fight. You can help people reduce the stress, the anxiety, but in the end it's a mental thing. You never forget the itch. And I've seen good people wasted by this, and I can't help. So, if we prevent this poison coming into the city, then less people further down the line will be destroyed.
Gasaki sort of pipes up. So, if Zelidia is the target, we knew that there was a possible expedition to Red Sands, but how do we propose we get to Zelidia? Do you have a boat?
No. Afraid not, Cass.
We could speak to Captain Sasha, if she is still in the city.
Yes.
That was the plan. My fear is that if we do go to Zelidia, they will follow us or keep an eye on us. I feel they'll just look those followers because we are well-known and dangerous people.
Theren smiles at Aubrey. Then
I blank.
Then we don't tell them we're going. We make a very big, what's that charming common phrase? A song and dance about heading somewhere else. Gellin, for instance. We charter Captain Sarcher's ship. We leave, headed on course for Gellin, and as soon as we're out of sight of the city, loop around and head to Zelidia. We'll be expected at Gellin. if there are spies there, they will be waiting for us at Gelen. No one will be any the wiser. The only person that we entrust with our true destination is Sacha.
So telling people like Guildmaster Shanks.
Everyone.
Oh, David, this is a plan with like thought and NPCs' names and locations.
Yeah.
I love it. This is fantastic.
Just came up with it.
I love it. I love it. It's
You look
fantastic.
so proud right now.
I am proud. You're it's stuff.
What-
I like it.
What about Vincent? Are we going to bring other people in on this, or is it just going to be us?
If
I
we
think
know that we're against this, and we don't know how many of them there are, and we believe that they'll be following us.
So keep the
The
numbers
more
down.
help that I would say the opposite. I would say the more help we could get, the better. We're not after this for monetary value. We're not after this to make a profit. We're after this to find a cure for your companion. That's got to be the ultimate aim.
maybe not Vincent.
The greater good in this is to find the
Well,
cure,
I mean-
not the money.
Vincent will definitely make a song and dance. We just don't tell until we're on the boat, where we're really going.
I agree with Aubrey.
Wow. I say that out loud. He agrees.
Seems
Maybe-
dishonest, but if
He loves
would-
a good adventure.
He does. He'd probably think
And one with
it's-
misdirection. What a story.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Do you think Captain Sacha would help herself? She
Yeah.
seemed a capable individual when I met her the other night.
We can't really
Is
speak
she
to
an
her.
adventurer? Is she a fighter?
Oh, we've seen her go against flap giants before.
She's got fighting spirit.
Yes. I truly think this is the best plan.
Is it worth investigating the slums before we go? Or is that too much of a risk?
It's too much of a risk.
Okay.
If we investigate the slums and then we just conveniently happen off to Gelen or wherever, it may arouse suspicion, but if we can convince everyone that we're leaving for whatever reason.
Yes. And also, if this gang are watching you, you haven't really been investigating them since Cass getting out of prison. So maybe they begin to believe that you've kind of moved on. Wishful thinking.
No, I think you might be onto something. There's no action we've taken thus far that would lead them to a course that we're hunting them down.
And you've certainly not kept a low profile. Well done.
We were looking for a cure. I believe we did the right thing.
I agree.
I'm not taking it.
So they think we're looking for a cure, which is true. Not investigating them. So that's another sort of misdirection. We are going to Gelen. We've
Could
heard
we
rumours to find a cure.
Perhaps not Gelen. We would need a reason to leave the city.
Now
What
let's-
about?
Gelen is where Blue is from.
No, he's from
Melis.
Melis. We could do Melis. We're going to.
Pay respects to his father.
Yes.
He did say we did say. I remember from my notes in my diary. We were going to inform Blue's father.
And we take Odie and Vincent with us because they fought beside Blue as well.
Perfect.
And you could say, well, we are still going that way, but one stop first? Or is it quite a different...
It's very far from here. I still think it's a good plan.
Master Bruker.
So,
Yeah.
just so you know,
Get the map out.
if your Brit is in the centre
Yeah.
of the dial, then you, going on your journey, you started in Melis, you went 200 miles to Harpley, 300 to Gym Point, 500 to Gelen, another 50 to Beggar's Bowl, and then 250 to your Brit. As the crow flies, it's probably just a touch over 1,000 miles. At the rate the Falling Star travels, based on previous trips, it could be between a week to 7 to 8 days.
Wow.
Travel one way.
To go to
Melis.
Melis. And how long would it be travel to go to
Gelen.
Lydia?
So Lydia, so
Gelen.
It's
Anything.
not our window.
Yeah.
you don't actually
don't
know
Box.
yet, but make everybody make an age check for me.
Two?
That's a natural one.
Bloody hell.
You got no clue.
I'm tapped out from a
It's
good
not
point.
the Citadel.
Just figuring out.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20.
What's his nature?
Yeah.
18.
18. Between the two of you, you could probably get a good guess. You know that Mount Arnan was about 1,000 miles south, and you know that Xelidia was also south and about halfway. So you would guess the crow flies 500, 600 miles. So 4 days travel, but totally the opposite direction. Melis is almost due north of Yibret. Xelidia is almost due south.
Yeah,
You might have to
So
go
if you're
back
going
on
for a
ourselves.
ruse, if you can pull it off, it's totally the other direction. But it is a little bit of a hup.
Yeah.
Might be worth it though.
They would have no prior warning. We would be truly
We can ask Sacha.
surprised.
She probably would know a route that could take us through a reef, islands, round
any
something that we
sewers,
could.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. And if we were pursued, surely if we were on the open seas away from sight, we'll kill them all.
We need to get
Sure.
her here.
Satra.
Yes. I could ask Leighton to summon her.
Well, just say that we're planning a trip to go see Blue's father.
Do we need to necessarily lie to all these people? I mean, Vincent, he's up for jolly japes, he's up for fighting
The less
crime.
people know of our true nature, the less likely any spies can gain it.
I understand that, but
It's
he's...
not really lying, it's just more
You know, it is technically
False.
lying.
It is lying,
truth.
but it is for the greater good.
Being economical with the truth.
I am just worried.
You
that-
do have to see the greater good here.
Yeah, I of course see the greater good, but I
The
just
greater
worry
good.
that we're gonna get further from this island, and we tell them, and they, despite your friendship with them, are upset with you, and then they choose not to help us.
They were fond of Blue, were they not?
And they will help us with that. Ultimately, this will help Blue and your brother.
It's a tenuous.
If you fight
path.
alongside someone, then surely you do everything to lay down your life to help them. Is that not how it works?
Yes. How is this helping them directly, though? Us going to fight crime.
It helps the city.
Yes. Maybe that's our angle.
Yes, and I fully intend, when we have revealed what we truly plan, to apologise for the deception. Believe me, Master Ruka, I do not enjoy this idea. However, if I did not think it were absolutely essential, I would not have mentioned it.
No, I understand. I'm purely worried about keeping them on our side once the thing happens, I think.
I understand your caution, but as Theren says,
You trust them just to say, oh, okay, we'll help you.
yeah, that's pretty much what they're like.
Okay, you know them better than I do.
It's a big adventure for them, one they can tell stories about once this evil has been defeated. They will be heroes here, and that's all they want.
Fine. You know them better than I do.
Should I call them? Vincent and Odie.
Yeah.
Well-
Well, do you want me to go get Captain Sartre then?
Would you mind?
Yeah, I could do with a walk.
Okay.
Alright.
So, are you just going to go out and look for her, or do you want to ask anyone in particular, or what's your
I'm
plan?
going to go down to see where the Falling Star is currently and just make a wander around the docks, basically, and see if I can catch any of her crew.
Around the docks. Okay. Fantastic. That is a good shout. So, you
I know.
make your way down. It's
Aubrey.
It's evening now. You all met in the evening's time, probably after dinner. The tournament was in the afternoon. Brukai, you've been busy most of the day yourself. So by the time you get to the dock, it is pitch black. Torches illuminate. You open up through the gates that take you out onto Yibrit's harbour. And in the night, the ice that is wrapped around the island like a solid iceberg. You can see floating elements are, again, you can see being pushed by large boats with multiple rows just keeping the area clear. Even in the dead of night, it's a hive of activity. You can see torches, but also boiling, burning vats of tar and oil shedding a smoky light, very warm on different parts of the dock.
I'll draw my cloak. The wings are flying, just a bit closer.
Exactly. I'd like you to make a couple of things for me. I'd like you to make an insight check,
Yep.
an investigation check,
Yep.
and a perception check.
Alright, well, we'll go. Was it?
Let me know what you get.
Was it perception check first? Sorry?
Insight?
Insight, sorry. Insight first is. It is a 15.
15. So you know to look the falling star first, and you head towards where you seem to remember it was
Last, yeah.
birthed. Okay, so you head that way.
Yep.
Investigation check?
Investigation, +1, that's a 7.
7. It takes you a little while to find it, but once you get down and you're looking in the dark, eventually sort of on one of the lower docks around the edge, you find the falling star. It's sort of tied off, and even in the night swaying with the ocean. The docks of Ybrit are not that enclosed effectively. Naturally, there's nothing to put hard walls on, so that it's still quite violently swaying against the docks. You can see even now there's a hive of activity around you. Other merchant boats are being unloaded and loaded up with cargo, with food. You can see a drunken shanty coming from one of them, a tavern opening its doors. Behind you spills out a couple of people who and just vomit over the street into laughter as like a sweaty barman comes out with a mop and no, not to do that, stop it, and you're just like cleaning it up immediately. But you make your way round. Eventually you clock one of the crew of the Falling Star. Let me just see if I can get the exact names again, because they are just...
Rockle.
Why not? It's probably Rockle.
Rockle!
So you find Rockle just sort of leaning actually against the... You can't immediately see him, but just sort of by the front of the ship, just sort of lying there. And as you're looking around, he hears the footsteps and sort of looks like, oh, hello.
Hello, greetings.
What would you like?
Is Captain aboard?
Yeah, she is. I can see if I can find her for you if you want.
Please, may I board the ship?
Sure.
Sweet.
Sure. And he sort of like gets up and like dusts himself off. You can see his sort of clothes are all dewy and wet, but he comes off and lowers the gangplank that bunks onto the dock. Make a perception check.
Nice.
As a 19.
19. So, you notice a couple of things.
Okay.
On the docks themselves, and sort of turning around, you just in the middle of something, you just randomly catch the eye of about 3 people who were watching you. And as soon as you notice them watch, they all just go and pretend to be talking. But it's just the fact that there are 3 different people in different areas, one by the tavern, one by a warehouse, one by the gates, all looking at you.
Sweet.
And it's just you don't have time to turn back around.
Right, I catch them in the midst of
Exactly. Exactly, but they go and then mingle, and within seconds they're sort of blended into the people around.
Okay, good to know.
The thing you notice as well is that when the gangplank is lowered, there's a and he goes, oh, not again, as the gangplank lowers, scrapes off the edge of the dock and then flacks against the edge of the ship. And he goes, sorry, one sec, and he sort of pulls it back up and waits for the waves to sort of pull it back up and goes and reties the ropes like back onto the pulling the ship slightly closer. It takes him 5 minutes to dip before he pulls it. Oh, I'm really sorry. Yeah, all the docks are everything just seems to be slightly out at the moment. We're not entirely sure.
Oh.
It's like the whole thing's like just the tides have been really weird. Sorry, come aboard.
No,
and sort of gets you on.
Weird weather we're having, you know.
Yeah, and sort of comes out. At this point, Captain Sarcho has sort of made her way out of the inside of the ship. Sort of clocks you. You can see she's not in her armour. She's in just sort of sailor garb, a loosely fitting tunic. Even in the night, you can see breath coming. Clearly not suited for outside weather, but sort of calls you in.
Thank you.
Aubrey!
Hello.
What do I have this pleasure?
It's fine. Can I speak to you in your cabin for a moment, please?
Please, come in. And for the first time you go inside.
I take it in great detail.
You can see her rooms are fairly sparse. You can see decoration has been, and really care has been put into a couple of items in this room. The bed itself is fairly plain, as are the wardrobe and the desk and various bits and pieces, but the quilt on the bed is just beautifully immaculate, sewn from 250 different patches of images and colours and bright. It's like a painstaking piece of just quilt has been put on. And you see on the side of the cabin a huge roaring fire that seems to just be contained within the side of the ship against wood on all sides. And he's like, come in.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry, is it boots off?
No, you're fine. And she kind of like looks at you. Nah, you're alright.
Yeah, just looking.
You're alright.
You never know, different people's ships and stuff. Yeah.
What's up? This is very late to have you.
It is.
You
I'm
caught
sorry.
me napping.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to
No, it's
disturb you at
fine,
this late hour. Tell me, how have you got a lot going on in the next few days?
Not really. No, being honest, we've been enjoying some port time. The gold we got from our latest trip it's been enough to do some repairs, some well-needed repairs, restocking, the crew of having a bit of downtime. I'll probably start looking for some work in a few days, but nothing's come up.
Well,
Why? What's up?
have I got an offer for you? And I tell her the plan about we want to chart her to go to somewhere, but then somewhere else. I'm trying to give it vague details as possible, but trying to reassure her that I am honest and I have the money to pay her.
So what do you tell her?
I tell
Are you
her.
telling her you're going to Solidia or not?
Tell her that I'm going to Solidia, but we want to make it as if we're going somewhere else.
She listens to you. I see. You think we're being followed?
Yeah, I saw 3 people follow me down here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think we're safe?
I can't guarantee that.
Well,
And I'm sorry for bringing that up.
no. This for everything you guys have been, I mean, we're as rich as we've been in some time based on the success of this mission. It was a bit of a gamble, and it paid off for us. And Blue was no. If we can help him, I said I would.
Thank you.
And I intend to honour that. She sort of gets out a lovely scroll and a map, and you can see it. So it looks a little bit like this. At some point I'll do a more detailed thing. But just to give you sort of an impression here, you've got Ybrit in the middle, right?
Yep.
Here. So, Melis is here, right on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got, let's have a look, Hinderclay, Melis, Hartley, Gin Point, Gellin, Beggar's Bowl, Ybrit.
Yeah.
In that order. And coming down, you've got Solidia.
Yep.
Here, Godrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the other place that was mentioned.
Yeah.
You've got Red Sands, which I think
That's
was over this direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Sands is over here, in this little gathering here near Rumpelmoon.
Rumple. Why are we going to Rumpelmoon?
Exactly. Down south, you've got Mount Arnan.
Ooh.
Here. So you can see, so really, Solidia and Mount Arnan are not a million miles away. They're about 400 miles from each other, which in the grand scale of boat travel, especially the Falling Star, which is quite a fast vessel, she sort of looks at it. It depends on how much of a distraction you want. We can go a few miles out of Ybrit and tail back, maybe in the dark. If we left now, we might have a chance. The boat is stocked. I always keep it prepared. We have at least 10 days travel. I mean, we could double back on ourselves and go through maybe Webb Key, Inglehold, pick up supplies, and then go from there rather than stocking up here and head to Solidia from there. But that would be a small town. Alternatively, we could potentially go to the Leofair Islands. They're about 250 miles north and try and lose them if we were being followed. If we needed more time, there are options.
I do think we needed a little more time just to put these plans together and to put out rumours that we're going elsewhere. I feel that us leaving straight in the middle of the night would cause even more suspicion than me coming to speak to you right now is.
Understood. We need to make a diversion for Melis.
Also, I've not talked to Theren about times and he's a bit pissed off when I don't tell him things.
Can I metagame pigeon?
Oh, Shanks talked about a dig at Godrow.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I mentioned that briefly, but I was like, that's not the point. Look, if you say we gave you 3 days' notice where would you say is best to go?
With 3 days, if you start spreading the rumour that we'll be leaving for somewhere, attention will be on us and we'll be followed. At that point, we need to do something clever. We'd have to lose them around something.
Okay.
We could even go back to the Beggar's Bowl. Head that way. It's kind of on the way to Melis. It's the route that we took. Captain Grimac took you.
Yeah.
We could head round the Beggar's Bowl and down that way. We could go to the Leothair Islands, which are to the north, and try and lose them there. It's about 25, 30 islands. They're quite tall.
That sounds more reasonable than get hidden in those islands, I think.
There is an alternative.
Oh, go on.
If we're followed, we intercept and try and fight. It depends on how much.
Yeah.
It depends on how much we're being attacked by. The Falling Star is not a weaponized vessel. We are a rapid scouting ship. We are fast. Not many vessels will keep up with us. There's a chance we can outrun them. But if they see us going in the direction of Zelidia,
they need to be silenced. How many people can you have on your ship, including the crew and yourself?
how many are you planning on taking?
So far, myself, Theren, our new companion, Bruka, Cass, Odie, and
Bruka?
Vincent. Yeah.
Yeah, the elf, white skin.
Yeah, owns a shop.
Yeah, I haven't been. A couple of crew members, I think, have been at some point. Pick up various bombs and stuff.
But you know him, though.
I know of him.
Good things, bad things?
If he can make a potion, he's a useful asset.
Good to know. Someone, you know.
So Bruka,
Bruka, Cass, Odie and Vincent are maybes, tentatively maybes just now.
6.
Yeah.
Plus myself and the crew.
Which is like,
We could squeeze.
yeah.
We may have to do the whole tarpaulin thing again.
I'm sure we're used
So
to
if you're taking time, you need winter equipment, you need supplies. I've got tarpaulin, but we're going to need furs.
We can
Sleeping equipment, things to protect you from the cold. The ship is small. We don't have that much space below deck.
I'm sure we can sort something out at the Adventurers Guild. We can get things there. And I'm sure they'd be happy to spend a little bit of coin to make sure they're okay.
Fantastic. Although saying that, she sort of thinks about it. If we cut back on supplies a bit, we could probably fit us all below deck. I'd need to rearrange things. It would be tight, but we haven't got that damn box with us this time.
That is true. Yeah.
I mean, I might need a couple of people to bunk with me, but you know.
Well, I volunteer Theren and Kazaki.
Intriguing. I'll think about that. So that goes back to.
We need to discuss consent.
Right.
And then I'll type any other details and stuff. How much would she estimate a trip like this cost to hire her services to charter it back?
For the sake of Blue, if we're going to Zelidia, if there are artifacts there, if there is things that can be retrieved and sold, I ask that we split the treasure. And for the boat, for my services, for my crew, I would take 3 parts. Assuming that the 6 of you each get a pass as well.
Done. I just want to make sure Blue's okay.
Okay, a deal.
Sweet. I will send you the details.
She tells you about if you need to send messages to her, there are
Yes.
ways, scrolls that can be delivered, messaging services that you can find. So you can easily
Perfect.
get messages to
I
her.
don't need you. Yeah, that's useful just to know. Cool.
Yeah.
And then I'll...
And the provisional plan is to send. What? No. If you've got a better idea, you do it.
No, I was just talking about...
People carrying
messaging.
scrolls can get intercepted. You know, that is a very real risk here, especially if you're
Sure.
being followed. So you're provisionally saying 3 days time.
Yes, provisionally. But willing to go at a moment's notice. I
Okay.
guess.
It'll be a cold trip, but
We can...
the ship will be ready. I'll have my crew on standby.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
And to you? And I step out.
Perfect. So, Odie and Vincent, are you the ones looking for them?
Yeah, Theren is gonna sort of leave, go down and look for them.
Is it just Brooker in my bedroom?
I have something I would like to do.
Before
Yeah.
I assume Cass will probably be working with Theren. He would stop and talk to her when there is a quiet moment.
Yeah, you can easily find one. Just sort of, you can make a premise that you need to collect something from your room or from whatever. It would, to be fair, she'd probably stand outside if you did that. So, I think no, just in a corridor, probably your best shout.
Theren would just invite her to come in his room for a minute.
Oh no, it's okay.
No, Cass, I need to speak to you. Don't, just please.
Fine, yeah. And she sort of makes her way in very sort of uncomfortably.
Shuts the door. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Come on. How many years has it been? I can always tell when something is wrong. What is it?
We're completely out of our depth here.
When have we not been?
I've just got some thinking to do, that's it.
Is there anything I can help with?
Let's rescue your friend. I said I'd help with that. It's a debt I owe. I just need to decide what I'm going to do afterwards.
I'm sure you'll come up with something.
Thank you.
Let's go get the other two.
You find Odie and Vincent probably propping the bar up at this point. Not in a bad way, just sort of amicably. You can see Drazda sat on a little table next to the bar, just reading through a book, just sort of keeping herself her hood up, but still the tail sort of wrapped around one of her legs. Very sort of tabaxi, sort of feline sort of figure. Odie's the one that notices you first as you come in. Theren, come in, please, take a drink. And sort of passes over. It looks very bright and very colourful.
How is...
Oh, please,
Theren gestures.
drink.
Oh no.
What do you think?
Yes.
I just had it concocted.
What is it?
Like lemons and some sort of neat spirit they take one of the southern islands. It's strong, isn't it?
That explains the sweet taste.
Bitter.
How is she getting? Gestures.
She sort of catches sort of looking at you and she sort of goes back to her breath. She's okay. She's taken Blue's disappearance quite hard. And she seems to have it in her head that if she was there, she could have saved him. But I keep telling her it's nonsense. She's so young. What can you do? Anyway, what's on your face? You've got something on your mind. I can tell.
What's on your face? I love that.
Can I have a word with the two of you upstairs in my room?
Sure. I can.
Why
Can
not
Drazda
both?
come?
Just meet me up there. I'll join you in a second. I want to speak to her.
Fine. Come on, Vincent. And he's right here and takes it.
The biggest hat.
Takes it off, puts it back, just... It's on backwards! Puts it and leaves. And so Odie just goes, for God's sake, Vincent, what are you doing? As they leave upstairs. Drazda is sort of packing her things up. You can see she's got a satchel. She starts putting her, like, pens and books in. All her books are just immaculately kept. You can see beautifully written handwriting. You can see she's been practicing. Every line is written 5 or 6 times in a row. She sort of seems to be teaching herself the basics, but still, even the letters, whilst uncomfortable, are beautifully wrought. Lots of time and effort has been put into this.
So awesome.
She looks up.
I haven't found the time to speak to you, and I'm sorry for that. How are you?
She sort of shrugs.
I'm really struggling with it too.
Looks up at you. Still looks back down.
You should know that he is so proud of everything you've done, as are we. This writing is beautiful. I could not do better myself.
So bashfully puts the book back in her bag and closes it. Thank you.
We have to go away for a little bit.
Looks up at you. I'm coming.
Drazda. And Theren lowers his voice. This is very serious. Are you sure?
Blue serious. I can help. I'm getting better.
Come upstairs.
Sort of packs her books up, puts her satchel on, and follows you up. Kisaki just sort of looking up. Bruka, you watch as this sort of small army of people enters the room. Vincent and Odie just chatting quite loudly. Theren, Kisaki enter into the room, and Drazda, you would have seen briefly a teenage, still maybe 4.5 feet tall, tabaxi, the long distinctive tail, but also a satchel, blue robes over her shoulders. She sort of looks up, the fur hiding some like two large eyes, which are sort of very curiously looking around the room. You can see Odie and Vincent going, I thought, hello Drazda, you alright there? And she sort of nods.
We are going to head north to Malice to we're going to see Blue's father.
Right. What was it, Vincent? Sort of is this right? I okay. Is this just to inform him?
To an extent.
I see. And I assume you'd like us to come?
Yes.
Theren, that's very sweet of you. We would love that. And Odie just sort of, yes, no, that would give me a lot of closure. Thank you.
Wonderful. Another thing. Would you be happy letting the guild know what we were doing?
What, is it informing of my voyage?
Yes.
Yes, of course we can. We have it in the books. I assume I'm sure other people would like to come, see this fabled island of Malice.
I think we are enough, this group here.
Right, respectful, yes.
I would ask that
7 people.
Not too much, as you normally would speak of this voyage, but never speak of what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
We are not going to Malice.
Right. You can see Kisaki sort of looking at you curiously now. Theren. And Odie's like, what do you mean? You just said you were going to what's going on here?
Yes, and you will tell everyone that.
I see.
This doesn't leave this room. Only...
Vincent sort of pulls his hat. A ruse. Oh no, I like this. Where are we actually going?
At this point, I activate my Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow.
Okay.
What?
So remind us of what that does.
So, with my smoking pipe, I just blow a single ring up to the ceiling of the room.
Yeah.
It conjoins and then spreads out in a massive bubble that kind of surrounds the entirety of the room, and it provides us a stealth bonus to anything that happens within that bubble.
Okay.
Cool.
I'll find the exact detail.
Okay, fine. So it makes you more difficult to overhear, effectively.
If that...
Assuming it gives a generic stealth bonus, I would
assume
argue
you'd be-
movement,
yeah.
noises, smells.
I'd only just thought of this
Burning.
right now. So during a short or long rest,
What I'm-
which I
The one
presume
with
this
actually
kind of
double.
is,
This could be a short rest. Yeah, I'm
You
giving
can
up.
invoke the shadowy power of the gloaming court to help guard your respite. At the start of the rest, you touch a point in space. So I'm doing a 30-foot radius sphere of magic appears, centered on that point. Total cover blocks the sphere. Whilst within the sphere, you and your allies gain a +5 bonus to dexterity, stealth, and wisdom perception checks. And any light from open flames in the sphere, campfire, torches, or the like, isn't visible outside it. So
So it gives you a stealth bonus.
Bit of
That's
a
good to
stealth
know.
bonus.
Good to know.
It's
So
awesome though.
Drazda is just fascinated by this. Her eyes light up, and she's just sort of like looking around and puts her hand through the smoke and is fascinated. Odie's like, "This is beautiful, fantastic."
keeping things a little hush-hush. Sorry, to continue.
No, thank you very much, Master Brooker.
And I do pass without a trace.
Okay, so we're now up on a. Well, so technically it's still a +10
It's a
stealth.
short rest. So
Well, no, it's not that. It's that D&D has a rule that if you have two things that do the same thing, they don't stack.
yeah.
So if you've got two things that give a stealth bonus, only the one that gives you the bigger stealth bonus will be in effect. So you've got the bubble, and then also the +10 stealth from Pass Without Trace.
For flavour.
I'm giving
adding
no.
some stealthiness.
It's a good
I like
combo.
it.
No,
I like
it.
Very good to know.
I could like it. It's also good that we have Pass Without Trace in the party now. It's a very helpful skill.
Especially when someone has disadvantage on all stealth checks.
You mean all three of you? Oh no,
No, two of us.
not. Oh
No, it's Kasaki will as well.
Yeah, she does. Actually,
No.
to be fair. So,
I just come back into the room. What the fuck is going
right.
on?
So, what is going on?
We are going south to Zelidia.
Perfect. I just will say that you tell the plan, different options as it is.
Explain every idea.
Of course we will. Yes, no, this would be absolutely fine. Drazda, are you sure you want? No, we can't take Drazda with us. It'd be far too dangerous. And she's like, no, don't be silly, dear. No, we can't take Drazda. What?
No, Cass and I were her age when we began live weapon combat training. She's old enough. She believes she can do this. Who are we to say otherwise?
Oh, Theren, but she's so young. You see, Odie's like a bit. Don't be silly. I mean, bless. She's powerful, but well, she knows now. There's going to be no way we can stop her. I mean, she managed to stow away with us once. Oh, Theren, what have you done? And the Jazda just comes over and just sort of stands by your side.
Theren puts his hand on her shoulder. She can do this. I believe in her. Blue did.
Okay. Well, when do we leave?
Aubrey is arranging that with Captain Sarchin now, hopefully within a few days. The two of you are, forgive me for being crass in the delivery of this, quite outspoken individuals. If anyone is going to pass on this deception,
Yeah.
the two of you will.
Odie and Vincent to spread tail. I'm going to write that down because I'll make some checks for them to see how they get on. So, for the sake of expediency, over the course of the next 3 days, the plan is confirmed, passed around. Captain Sarcher gives her approval, even with the extra person of Drazda, and she takes care of things like supplies, the refitting of the ship, all that sort of thing. She does let you know that in terms of getting all the supplies in and then making some of the necessary changes and also greasing a few palms to make sure that people don't know what's going on, it's going to take about 100 gold to push the ship into that sort of thing, which she's happy to split. So the share of the party, assuming that we'll have to think about Vincent, Odie and Drazda, and if you want to get them to pay their own way, would be about 70 gold. Because now you've got 7 people, and then Sarcher and her crew counting as 3, effectively. So there's a few ways to split this now. So it's to be considered. There's a little bit of a cost here. But you are left to plan. And we will pick this up next time in 3 days when the party is ready to disappear, which should be a good trip. I'm looking forward to this. So, thank you very much for watching, and until then, we'll see you next time when we go exploring again. See you later.
Oof.